Good morning this Wednesday morning. It's the 13th, and so we're on to Psalm 13 here at Wake Up Well. How long, Lord, will you forget me? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle my thoughts and day after day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look on me and answer, Lord my God. Give light to my eyes, or I will sleep in death. And my enemy will say, I have overcome him, and my foes will rejoice when I fall. But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me. How long? Such an apt question right now. How long are we in this? How long must I wait? How long must I suffer? How long before I can see my friends and life returns? How long? Maybe some of us have been asking that question a lot longer. How long must I be in this sorrow or this pain or wait for that desired breakthrough? David the psalmist, as we can see, knows this suffering. David, who had been anointed king, David, who had won the battle over Goliath, David, who had triumphed and lived in favour, and now, in this intense hardship, to the breaking point of thinking, can I go on? Where he's wrestling intensely with the thoughts in his head, where he's wondering, has he been forgotten? Where is God? Is this it? Has the enemies won? What was it worth? And yet, he still recognises, Lord my God, that he trusts in God's unfailing love, even in darkness and pain where it looks like the enemy has triumphed. His heart rejoices in his salvation, knowing that salvation is the most important thing, not his surroundings. And he says, I will sing the Lord's praise. We know there's something about as we praise that our gaze shifts. Our gaze shifts onto him, onto his hope, onto his goodness, rather than just on what is surrounding us in our circumstances. As we praise, it shifts things. I was reminded recently of Corrie ten Boom. Corrie ten Boom was in a Nazi concentration camp in the Second World War, under immense suffering of every kind we could imagine. And she went through a process of learning to give thanks to God. And one thing that she felt led to give thanks for were the fleas. Now, the fleas were causing intense discomfort, and she'd asked for them to be taken away. What the fleas actually meant was that she was saved from guards coming because they didn't want to be in contact with the fleas. And so there was a redemptive purpose in those fleas. She had to learn to give thanks even when she couldn't see. How true is that for us today? Do you know, David had to wait. We know Joseph had to wait. Daniel had to wait. You know, we hear of the glory moments, but we don't so much hear of the decades and the years that they waited. They waited and there was sorrow in their hearts. But yet they held on to him. Hebrews 11 at the end sums up this. He's talking about the men and women of faith, that these were all commended for faith, yet none of them received what had been promised, since God had planned something better for us, that only together with us they would be made perfect. So if David could trust in his God, we who have now received the promise and the fullness of our salvation can hope for much more. And so today, let's be real with God about what we're feeling, what's going on in our head and our heart and the sorrow. But let's turn that into praise, knowing that as we shift our gaze onto him, he is the reason for our salvation. And for that, we can be thankful. Bless you today.